What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to LTL Podcast. It is July 18, 2023. Ooh, I almost said 22. Wow. My brain is all over the place today. It's episode 32. Want to welcome everybody get back into the live show. If you're checking out the live show, feel free to chat there. We'll chat as the stream goes. But if you're catching this on a replay, make sure to go down there in the comments section and hit. I always say hit. Comment hashtag replay. I'd love to see who's watching all these on replay. And as you know, I download these episodes and then re-upload them a couple of days later. So we'll smash into that algorithm, crash along, bring in some new subscribers. So that's why you'll see the replays here. But hope everybody's doing well. Hope the chat will, as we go on in the show here, will fill in. And this evening, we're going to get into this Rex Heuermann story where he is the prime suspect arrested in the Long Island murders. And this has been going on for just over a decade. And, I remember hearing about this case. I have some friends that live out on Long Island and just all these locations of the bodies that were showing up on Gilgo Beach. And it was a really topic of conversation out there. And it's just crazy. It's like, as this has gone on, since his arrest over the last couple of days, it just seems like every time I turn around and look up this story in the media, there's some new development. It's just really, really crazy. But before I get into the heart of the show, I have some breaking news that I want to pull up here. And I was really surprised to see this come across my feed today. So breaking news out of Las Vegas. Las Vegas police search home in connection to murder of Tupac Shakur. It says here, reported from Fox 5, Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department confirmed Tuesday that a search warrant has been served at a Henderson home in connection with the death of the rapper Tupac Shakur. On July 17th, police made an entry into a home. At this time, the specific location has not been released. The popular rapper, who was shot multiple times during a drive-by shooting on September 7th, 1996, the vehicle has been stopped at a red light in an intersection in East Flamingo Road and Covell Lane when the shooting took place. He died 6 days later. This was a huge story. Lots of conspiracy theories around this particular story. And it's really great to see that they may find a connection in this and getting down to the actual truth of what happened to Tupac. And I remember when this happened, it completely shocked the world. I believe that they were actually, was Suge Knight and Tupac actually left a Mike Tyson fight that evening. And they were at that corner of Flamingo, and someone drove by, and it essentially was a drive-by shooting. Suge Knight made it, but Tupac was really badly injured. And like I said, they got him into the hospital, and unfortunately on life support, he couldn't make it. And 6 days later, he had died. Now, there's been many conspiracy theories, many documentaries that have been made about this. A lot of interviews, a lot of people saying that police were involved, a lot of people saying that Suge Knight was involved, lots of things. But this definitely is a story that I will keep an eye on and will cover. It is going to be a huge topic of conversation if they do find someone in connection being responsible to Tupac's murder. So really great to see that they're making some way in that case. Hopefully it puts, a lot of the rumors to rest, and, we can get down to finding actually who did this to Tupac. So tonight, like I said, we're going to get into the Long Island serial killer suspect, Rex Heuermann. And I've been meaning, like I said, wanting to kind of dive into this. And I'll be truthful, I haven't had much time as I've been super, super busy over this last 8 days. I'm finally got one more day at work, and then I'm going to be off the next 2 days in a row. And I plan on doing a lot of streaming. And, I really want to get into this case. I probably do a couple of these streams over the next couple of days. And then towards the end of the week, we'll definitely pop up with our usual Idaho show. So before we get into the show, like I said, I want to just pull up some of the people that are in the chat. I appreciate y'all being here. Brenda's here. Jessica's here. Thank you so much for being here. We got Detective John. I'm going to drop the link for Detective John in a couple moments, have him come on the panel. He said he wanted to hang out. I said, gladly, you can come over and hang out with us. Ron Jones is in the room as well. I see my Nightbot is working. That's great. Frey is here as well. Donna G in the house. Oh man, there must be, how many Idaho streams are going right now? Karen T is here. Tanya's here. What's up, Tanya? How are you? Kathy Baker's in the room. Let's see. And that's all I have. Terry Dean's made her way in here as well. And yeah, the chat should fill up here. Hopefully we get, a little bit in here and little people going tonight. No Idaho streams right now. Wow. It's a miracle there's no Idaho streams. Thomas in the house. What's up? Mary's here as well. She's always over here hanging out. Doodlebug is here. I love it. Everybody checking in. This is great. As you check in, please make sure to smash that like button. I really would appreciate it. All right, let's drop the link for Detective John. Let's get him on here if he wants to come hang out. We'll wait for him here. But in the meantime, while we wait for him to come in, and Tanya, hey, if you're in the room, you want to hang out, by all means, you're welcome on the panel anytime. So we have an update in here. I saw this really compelling story out of the New York Post, posted at 2:30 this afternoon. And this is just a bizarre case, a wowzer bizarre case. And I'm going to get into some more things that are going on as well. Some breaking news about an hour ago in this particular case. We got Detective John in the house. What's up, brother?
What's up, my man?
How you doing, man?
Hold on.
Yeah,
Are they hearing me on the show or just you?
Yep, I can hear you. And it's live. Everybody can hear you as well. I got you there. Oh, maybe you bounced out.
Yeah, I'm here.
All right, brother.
But it's weird.
Well, we are a little weird. We're all a little weird.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Okay, is that better?
Yep, that's much better.
All right. I had two streams going at once. My bad.
I gotcha.
I'm figuring this out, man.
You'll get it. All right. So breaking news, some updated news on this case today. And like I said, I haven't really been able to deep dive into it, but I will over the next couple of days. And, we'll do some surface layer stuff this evening. I have the PCA. I don't think we're going to get through any of that tonight, but we'll just do like kind of an update show here this evening. And I definitely would love to come back, do a stream where we actually read through the PCA and see how they actually formulated all the evidence to get this guy or to make him, suspect number one. So let's see here. Long Island cops ignored vital lead that could have led to Rex Heuermann 13 years ago. Wow, it's really crazy stuff. It's out of Suffolk County. I'm going to enlarge this a little bit here. Actually, I have it pretty large, actually. Suffolk County cops ignored a key tip in the grisly Giglio Beach murders for over a decade and had a general description of a suspect in a make and a model of a car he drove, which they failed to act upon 13 years. It was only when a new task force went back over the evidence in the case and re-interviewed a pimp that clues pointed to Rex Heuermann, 59-year-old architect, who is now charged with 3 counts of murder. So I have kind of a problem already with the beginning of this article, and Detective John, if you want to jump in here, but let me get my point. So it's saying that they ignored a key tip. Now, look, you have multiple tips that come through a particular case. I mean, what did they say in Idaho? They had over like thousands of tips. I don't know the actual number on it. So, get down on me if I don't have the actual number correct, but I think it was thousands of tips. So, I mean, to sort through all of that information, what's real, what's credible. I'm sure they may have looked into this particular tip and maybe put that aside. I'm not really sure how tips are handled, and maybe Detective John can jump in a little bit here in a second. But I don't know if they ignored it. Maybe it just didn't point them in a certain direction at that particular time. And then going back over the case file and looking it over, maybe revamping some new evidence. What do you think, Detective John?
Well, is that Suffolk County? Is that what it is? Suffolk County, right? How big is that department? Have we looked that up yet? How many sworn do they have?
Let me see.
Can you Google that real quick?
Yep.
And I'll make a point here. So Suffolk County, isn't that by Amity and all that, like Amity Horror?
I think so. So they have
New York.
So
they filmed Jaws.
Yeah. So as of right now, 2349, but this is 13 years ago. So, I mean, you could probably think that the force was a lot less. I don't know what
Is
how
that
many
2349? That's not
sworn.
23 sworn officers,
Yeah.
because that's a
So
huge department.
it says here, police officers 2349.
Yeah, that's huge.
But we
So
don't know if it's doubled in size in 13 years,
right, right. So what happens is, when they form a task force, they need to throw some fresh eyes on it. You've got a case that's, nearly 10 years old. So, they often bring task force and they bring multiple jurisdictions in, surrounding counties, surrounding cities, and they pick the best of the best to be on this task force. So, fresh eyes are always great to have, because everybody's got their own investigative theories and techniques. And, I've been a part of many task forces. I was, on some homicides on task force and DEA task force and things like that. But it's always great to get different perspectives from other investigators. And, it also opens the door to, potential crimes that they're investigating. Let's see if we have a link,
Yeah.
maybe we've got some DNA that might be applicable to this case, and we can try and put this stuff together. But I think forming and I'm speculating, but I believe forming this task force is probably what solved this case.
Yeah, so it goes on to say in the article, and again, we don't know, like I don't know, but it's just like, I know sometime, like here you go, here it says like the crucial tip came from a pimp from Amberlynn Castillo, one of the 3 women allegedly killed by Heuermann in 2010. Now, look, there's your source, like, but he said
Right.
he was interviewed by cops soon after the murders and identified as the killer as a bulky ogre who drove a distinctive Chevrolet Avalanche when last seen with the victim. It was only when ex-NYPD Chief Rodney Harrison took over Suffolk County Police Commissioner last year and reopened the case that the dots started to connect. So again, it's something that was a statement. It was something that was put out there. Maybe they couldn't have made a solid connection at that time, but now you've had 13 more years, or what? This is 2010. Yeah, 13 more years of evidence that has pointed in the direction of this particular individual. So you can start formulating a case. You can start looking, what were the areas that this guy was in? Who were the people that he was surrounded in? Where was he seen at particular times? So that now can start formulating more and in getting that case together. So they may have just not had enough evidence back then, right? I mean,
Right. Yeah.
to point the direction of this guy.
That's an old lead, and it took some fresh eyes to look at it and go, wait a minute, I would be surprised if he still owned that Avalanche.
Right.
But a Chevy Avalanche, if anybody knows what a Chevy Avalanche is, it's kind of that ugly Chevy. There you go. It's got they put that plastic, whatever you want to call it, behind the quad doors, and it always fades out and turns that milky white. It's supposed to be shiny black. I thought that was the ugliest truck Chevy
He's
ever
a
came out
big
with.
dude, bro. This guy's
He is a big dude. He looks like he's 6'6" to me.
Yeah.
And they're saying, how big are they saying he is? I mean, he's big.
I don't know. Maybe someone in the chat knows. If you know his height, could you throw the height in the chat?
That guy's a monster. His
He's
shoulders
huge,
are freaking,
bro.
His shoulders are up to that one the bald dude's head. I mean, he's a freaking.
And he's not.
Hey, pardon the pun, but this guy's a monster.
Yeah,
and
he's a monster.
He didn't have a hard time
doing what he did.
Whatever, snapping necks or whatever he needed to do. I'm sure.
He's 6'6", 275. They said.
Wow, that was a good guess, bro, wasn't it?
Wow.
270.
Yeah.
He's not going to be anybody's bitch in jail, I can guarantee you.
No, he's a big dude, man. So he was arrested to ties of the Gilgo Four, the women. Let's see. The body of Bartholomew was found on Ocean Parkway in December 2000, sparking fears of a serial killer in the area. Yeah, I don't want to read too much of the article. I just wanted to drop this up a little bit, but I do have some video clips here I want to play There was just an update an hour ago, and check this out. This is going to blow your mind. So they're actually now looking in South Carolina and Nevada with connections to this guy.
We are going to turn now to another story that's been making big news for the last several days. There is new information tonight in the widening investigation into the accused Long Island serial killer. Authorities have expanded their search into South Carolina as we learn suspect.
Yeah, and I was going to say, and I know I stopped the video, and he goes, "You stopped the video," because I have a thought in my head. I've heard he has property in Massachusetts as well too. So,
well, I'm wondering if these bodies in South Carolina were in burlap bags, burlap bags.
It's crazy.
Because if they were, then I'm going to roll the dice and say this is our guy.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. Yeah, and I mean, I think they have a DNA profile on this guy from pizza crust, and that's what led them in the direction. It's crazy.
That's crazy. It's like I said the other day. There's going to be more bodies. This guy didn't just kill 8 people. I'm gonna go out and say there's much more.
Yeah,
much more.
All right, let's play through this and see what they got to say here.
Rex Heuermann owns property in Chester County. They are also opening an investigation in Las Vegas, where Heuermann owns a condo. Heuermann lives in Massapequa, a short distance from Gilgo Beach, where the remains of several victims were found more than a decade ago.
He's big,
Heuermann has been charged in 3 of those murders and is the leading suspect in a 4th.
Wow.
Police are now trying to determine if there are even more victims in this case. For the latest on the widening investigation, let's go to News Nation correspondent Alex Capriello. Hey, Alex.
It looks like Ogre from Shrek.
Hi there, Elizabeth. With these new investigations launching in other law enforcement jurisdiction, it really is deepening fears that these attacks that we're seeing right here in Long Island are not isolated, but actually could extend to other areas of our country.
New developments today in the hunt for evidence tying accused murderer Rex Heuermann to the Gilgo Beach murders in Long Island, New York. This time,
I think there's some rumor that he has a life-size doll inside his house in like a glass case or something like that. That's crazy too.
Enforcement officials more than 700 miles away are getting involved, deepening fears the violent crimes he's accused of extend to other parts of the country. This morning, New York State Police arrived in Chester County, South Carolina, towing away a Chevy truck from the sheriff's office. Following a witness testimony from more than a decade ago, the task force was able to connect a Chevy Avalanche observed at the scene of the crime to Heuermann. A spokesperson for Chester County Sheriff Max Dorsey confirms he was contacted more than a week ago before police even closed in on their prime suspect.
During the murder investigation and prior to their arrests, the Chester County Sheriff's Office was requested by the Gilgo Beach Task Force to assist in gathering evidence in Chester County.
In these Google Maps screenshots dating years ago, you can see a similar Chevy Avalanche hiding in plain sight, right in the driveway of Heuermann's childhood home in Massapequa Park, New York. The same home where he still lives today, that's been searched by investigators for more than 5 days. News Nation has learned Heuermann also owns several lots in Chester County, nearly 22 acres of rural land. His brother also reportedly lives nearby. Records also show Heuermann owns a condo with his wife near Las Vegas, Nevada. Las Vegas Metro PD confirmed to News Nation that it is examining all of its unsolved cases to see if there may be any connection to Heuermann. John Ray.
Dude, that would, like, I was just thinking about John, like, this guy was known for, if it is him, and again, we have to say suspect because he's the accused right now. But if the accused, this guy's prey was, prostitutes, Las Vegas would be a plethora for this guy out there.
Yeah. And I'm curious, and I don't know, somebody else may know, were these call girls or were they street prostitutes?
Right.
There's a difference.
Right.
I heard someone mention a pimp, back in 2013. I mean, you didn't really have call girls like you have now. You did, just not, it wasn't as easy. So he may have, worked up to higher class call girls, because a couple of those girls in their pictures, they didn't look like they were rough. You know what I mean? Right. They looked like kind of high dollar girls.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I don't know enough about the case.
Sure.
I just making an observation.
I know that. I'm sorry. I
Yeah,
know
hey,
that.
Tanya.
Hey guys. How you doing? I went over this case the other day.
Good to have
I've
you here.
yeah, it's good to be here. I was like, I'm going to go over to Brian's live because I did mine earlier today, so it worked out really well.
Yeah.
But yeah, so actually Shannon Gilbert, the woman that they found first, but she was like the last of the people that were found there. Shannon Gilbert, she was a call girl, but she was like an escort, if you would. Like she had like higher paid clients.
Exactly.
I don't know if all the girls did, but I'm assuming maybe they did, or maybe they didn't. Maybe some did, maybe some didn't. But I know Shannon Gilbert, she did. She had more of a clientele, more of a I don't know if you've seen like pictures of her or not, but like this girl is just absolutely gorgeous, like absolutely stunning. No one, you know what I mean? Like no wonders why she had high paying clients. Wow. I mean, she was a stunning girl. Guys probably wanted to go on little dates with her.
Yeah. Can you imagine? Listen, can you imagine this? Could you imagine because he buys the condo in Las Vegas to be out there because call girls or street prostitutes are so accessible out there? Can you imagine that? And imagine, if they find out that there's hundreds of girls, that this guy may have been involved with, it would be crazy. It would just,
and he was smart about it. Like he was using burner phones.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Like one phone to one person, then he gets rid of the phone. Man. Right after the unalivings, he had a way about him. I mean, he had it down for 13 years. Shit, that's a long time.
I would be interested to see in a search warrant if they found all of the burner phone numbers. Yeah, and then they could put together, that he put a number next to a girl, like the girl you said was number 1. This is phone number 3. That would be very telling right there. But burner phones, I'm on the fence on burner phones because there's so much illegal activity that's perpetuated because of burner phones.
Yeah. I think they even used cast. Somehow. They somehow used cast still, and I was like, "Whoa, that's really impressive!" Like, can't even get a burner phone anymore.
That's why the FBI has cast. I mean, burner phones are probably one of the main reasons why. Yeah. Because it's so hard to get an SW on a burner phone, But cast info doesn't lie. We can track it through credit card transactions and things like that.
Right. All right, let's finish this up. This video, we'll move on to the next one here.
The attorney representing victims Jessica Taylor and Shannon Gilbert is convinced the harder police look, the more evidence they will uncover connecting Heuermann to other missing women cases across the country.
This is something he was addicted to. This gave him ecstasy. This gave him satisfaction. And he loved, apparently, the chase. He loved the taunting and the harassment of the relatives. So the chances are very strong that he's killed other people.
Yeah, this is crazy.
Harassment of the relatives.
And at this moment, Heuermann is only accused of killing 3 of those Gilgo Beach murder victims, although he is considered the prime suspect for a 4th. Elizabeth?
Yeah, there was a rumor that he, I think, Tanya, you get some background noise. There was a rumor that he called one of the victim's sisters from like her phone or something like that. I don't know. Maybe Tanya heard something. I heard something like rumor about that.
What was the question?
So he used a victim's phone to call the victim's sister?
Did he, Tanya, did he
say something?
Oh yeah, he was doing that. Sorry, it took me a minute. I read the PCA. He was using the victims' phones to call the victims' families and pretty much torment them. And he was all of his Google searches, I couldn't even read them to my chat. I had to freeze the screen, and because I was like, there are going to be code words here everywhere. No one's going to know what I'm talking about. So I just put it on the screen for like 3 minutes. I said, everybody read what you can, screenshot it or something. But he was doing some crazy Google searches as well. So
I want to get through that PCA probably this week and do a full read through of it. I think it'd be really interesting to see how they put this case together, because I am so fascinated by this right now.
It is
so much. It's bizarre. It's just so bizarre.
And it's so much like the Brian Kohberger case, the way that they're doing the DNA, the way they did the genealogy, the way they did the cast, there's a lot of things when you read the PCA, you're like, whoa, oh. Yep. And they even described him as his hair as being bushy. This guy. I said, no, they did it. On my life. I was like, no, they did it. I was so excited about that just because I was like, what is that, the new like trend? Bushy.
Right.
Maybe that's a new word.
You know what's going to be interesting to see is does you read the PCA, Tyner?
Yeah, I read it right when it came out.
Did it mention anything about any searches, online searches, or anything like that?
Just the Google ones, I believe. I need to read back through that. I read it kind of just on a live.
Anything that he knows or knew that he was being surveilled, and I bet you too that he's been counter surveilling. If anybody doesn't know what counter surveilling,
he has been. They got him they got him like looking up like all of the crimes and all of the the girls that were unalived, and he was looking into the case like deep looking into it over the last 13 years. He was.
And I bet you in that surveillance footage, once we see it, you're going to see that if he was doing that, then he was extremely paranoid. He knew they were getting close.
Yeah.
And he was more than likely when you're being counter surveilled, for those that don't know. So if I'm following you and I suspect and you suspect that I'm following you, that you would dip. You would make counter movements to see if if you're being followed. That's why when you do surveillance, you don't just use one car. You have somebody else. You have two or three doing it, so that if he does that, you can just keep going straight. If he dips, and then the next car will pick up the surveillance. But counter surveillance is very common, and I bet you we're going to find that was taking place. So that's pretty telling right there.
That's crazy.
And then earlier, Brian, you said something about the doll in the case. Yeah, that was real. They brought it out.
Wow.
I saw it.
They brought it out?
Yeah, on one of the news stations. Maybe Daily Mail. There has to be. It's probably on Daily Mail. Like, it sounds like something Daily Mail would have.
Yeah. Look at the
But they're holding it, and it's like life size.
Wow.
Like, it's pretty big. It's like 3 feet.
Oh yeah,
for
my
a doll.
But
I mean, like, this is a grown man. This is a grown man. Like, and that guy's huge.
It rubs the lotion.
Come
on, Brian.
Right.
Brian,
I didn't realize how big he was.
Rubs the lotion. Come on, do it for the fans, bro. Come on, you can do it. I heard you doing it.
She wouldn't be a big fat woman, would she? Would you?
It rubs the lotion.
Lotion on the skin, or it gets the hose again.
That was beautiful.
He's really big. That guy's huge. How tall is he? We need like him and Brian Kohlberger stand like side by side, standing up.
Yeah, right.
Because that guy's huge.
13, would you?
All right, we got Brian started now.
Yeah, I'll
get another fan club, buddy.
Oh yeah.
The dates are gonna come.
That woman, would you? All right, let's play this video.
We're learning more about the evidence in the state of New York related to the suspect charged in the Long Island serial killer case at Gilgo Beach. Rex Heuermann faces charges in connection to the killings of several women found along that New York Beach highway more than a decade ago. Detectives say that DNA from a pizza crust is what links the suspect to the murders. A source familiar with the case told CNN that Heuermann asked about media coverage of the case when he was arrested last week. He asked during his jail intake, quote, "Is it in the news?" Joining us now, Court TV crime and justice correspondent Matt Johnson. Good morning to you, Matt. Let's start. Johnson.
Did he say, is it in the news?
Court TV crime did last week. He asked during his jail intake, quote,
It does look like Shrek.
"Is it in the news?"
Gee, that sounds like someone that we know. Did they arrest
No, it's not in the news. It's not in the news.
Did you guys arrest someone else?
Is it in the news? Is my wife going to find out?
Did someone else get arrested?
I don't mean to laugh, but it's like, really?
Did someone else get arrested?
13 years. They've been looking for you.
Kind of sounds like someone we know. Did someone else get arrested?
Anyone else?
Who else get arrested?
Anyone?
Joining us now, Court TV crime and justice correspondent Matt Johnson.
What's that, John?
Bueller? Anyone? Bueller?
Yeah, right.
Good morning to you, Matt. Let's start with what's the latest.
Yeah, isn't that shocking? Good afternoon to you, Ted. Yeah, I didn't ask about his family or about the victims or about the evidence. Is it in the news? Police also telling us that they're building a case against this man that they call a demon. And we're learning more about that arrest, that takedown. Take a look at your screen right there. Architect Rex Heuermann in this video. Law enforcement surrounding him on Fifth Avenue. They're in New York.
Wow,
Heuermann became a suspect after the FBI got involved in a task force that was formed last year. The arrest after his DNA linked him, allegedly, to 3 of the murders. Right now, police are searching his Long Island home and storage units. They have removed, get this, 200 guns from behind a locked door in his house and a life-size doll. Police say his wife and daughter who lived in the home with him had no idea what was happening about his alleged double life.
When we initially informed them about their husband, their father, they were shocked. They were disgusted. They were embarrassed. So if you ask me, I don't believe that they knew about this double life that Mr. Heuermann was living.
Police say that they have executed a number of search warrants to be expected, and they are in the process, Ted, of interviewing people that are close to him.
New evidence in the case. There's going to be a lot of it, right? And we are learning more with each day that passes.
Yeah, and we're still learning what they are connecting to him. Right now, investigators say that they have a flood of evidence that they are combing through, searching his storage units for trophies, we're told, for items taken from possible victims. We know that they have DNA evidence from that discarded pizza crust that matched the victims, DNA on the victims, and a disturbing online search history that includes child porn, sadistic images, and information about the case, about the Long Island serial killer. Police say Heuermann used burner phones and one of the phones of a victim to taunt her family. That's alleged. Right now, he is charged in the deaths of 3 of the 4 Gilgo Four murders. Charges are pending.
I want to pause this really quick. And Karen brings up a good point. She says, hey, I feel sad for the family. Not only are the people that are victims that are the victims in this case, but those family members become victims as well, because they have to deal with this through the rest of their life.
Absolutely. And his wife wasn't even in this country when this happened, and the evidence was her hair that was like tied it, and I don't know how her hair got caught up in it, but she was out of the country, so I can only imagine what she feels like. But good thing she was out of the country is all.
Yeah, that was crazy. Jessica says his neighbors had a block party the day after he was
No, they
arrested.
didn't, Jessica.
Yeah, they did. They were out there partying.
Because they never liked him, they said.
No,
they said his house was they said his front porch was held up by 2x4s, and he's an architect.
Yeah, they said that that like it was like the haunted house that no one wanted to go around.
Didn't I hear that was his mother's house? He bought his
mother's house. It's a house that had been in the family for quite a long time.
Ooh, I can only imagine. Right. But yeah, but that could be.
All right, let's.
So did it say in the PCA about the modus operandi, method of death, or anything like that? Did it say anything?
They didn't know. I think because the bodies were so decomposed, they were put into. We knew this 13 years ago that they were put in burlap sacks, because I've been following this case since it happened, but we weren't aware that they were camouflaged burlap sacks. So when we put them down in that muck, it was like they were just gone.
Wow.
And so I think because of the bodies being so, degraded, they weren't able to tell cause of. I personally think it's probably strangulation, and he probably had one of his 92 guns with him to subdue him.
Yeah.
That's just me.
They'll be able to tell the hyoid bone, that's the bone in your neck. Mm-hmm. That's typically a man of that size with those hands. I mean, he could simply probably just wrap one hand completely around these girls' necks.
Yeah.
And they crush the hyoid bone. And so when they do recover the bodies, then they'll be able to determine if that happened, what the cause of that would be strangulation. And using those burlap bags and them being camouflage could be his calling card.
Oh yeah, I think it was.
You know what I mean? That could be. I mean, he intentionally did that, so he intentionally wants to be known as a serial killer. Yeah. That's very interesting. Very interesting stuff. That's why that South Carolina case and potentially the Vegas case, maybe that's what they're running into.
All right, let's keep playing through this.
Maureen Barnes.
Good stuff, guys.
So it's going to take a little time. I'm not sure exactly what the time frame is, but
it is Tanya.
Because the hair follicle was somewhat damaged and trying to match the DNA connected to the hair, it may take longer than we anticipate. But if it does come back as a match, then we'll definitely charge him with the murder to Mrs. Barnes.
So again, more possible arrests, more possible charges pending. Heuermann pleaded not guilty to the 6 murder charges that he faces for the 3 alleged victims. He's also being held without bail. He's expected to be in court on August 1st, Ted.
All right, Matt Johnson, thank you. Matt will be keeping us updated throughout the day here on Court TV on this very disturbing trial. Evil amongst us, I guess, is the theme. Many people are thinking on this one, because this guy was the suburban dad, architect in Manhattan, commuted into the city, worked there for years. Let's talk about it more with Marie Pereira and Jack Rice. And Marie, your overall thoughts? You're up there in New York. This guy, he was able to, for so long, evade investigators in a case that shocked not only New Yorkers, but the whole country.
I'm not surprised, because usually serial killers do a lot of damage before they are caught or even considered as suspects. I mean, this defendant is cloaked in a presumption of innocence, but so far, the state seems to be building a good case with DNA evidence. If it adds up along with the computer searches and digital evidence, it's mounting against him. But I think it's an ongoing investigation. They still are finding things in his house. I almost laughed out loud when I heard about the life-size doll and then the 200 guns, and his family had no idea. I will definitely be going about 15 minutes from where I live to that courthouse when the case is on.
Ooh, we're gonna have you on here when you walk out of the courtroom. The evidence that you can feel when investigators are confident, right? And they are confident here because they do have the double whammy of he does fit descriptions of witness testimony and that DNA that they work so hard to, because they have hair. They just needed to find out who they should zero in on, and you add the phones into it. It's a lot like Kohlberger, right? I mean, this was a very extensive investigation, but you could tell they're kind of puffing their chests now. They got their guy.
Well, they do
in their mind.
In this sense, at least from the beginning. I think of this like a threat.
He said it. So when the people in the room weren't really, they had it in the background. They heard what Kohlberger? What new stuff? What? Oh, wait, no, it's not it.
Hey, Brian.
Yeah, buddy.
So just interesting. I just pulled up camo burlap bags on Amazon.
Yep.
You want to pull it up?
Yeah, I pulled them up the other day too.
$22.49 for a 12 foot by 54 inch. Just kind of gives people an idea of what a burlap bag camo would look like, and how easily. So here's a point that I want to make. Is on the search warrants, when they're searching all of his digital stuff, they may find that he actually ordered these on Amazon,
right?
And they can track, just like BK allegedly ordered a K-bar knife, right?
Yeah, absolutely. That's usually the go-to supply store for all these crazies now.
Well, this would be 2013. Well, we gotta look.
Not? They delivered a murder weapon right to your house, allegedly.
We gotta look back though, because this was 2010.
Yeah.
2010 was were we doing Amazon in 2010? Not like we are today.
Not like
we were doing Home Depot, probably Lowe's. He probably went to a store and probably paid cash, and it's probably gone. I mean, after this many years, but he's not smart, so probably not. And he probably ordered it off eBay. eBay was the thing back then,
right?
I think they just found somebody recently, but I'm not sure on that. I know that they didn't start investigating again until like last year. They let it just sit for a long time,
right?
And then they got a new police chief or whatever, and he was like, "We're doing this thing." So
I was ordering stuff offline 10 years ago.
You were on Amazon? I can't remember if I was or not.
Yeah,
probably just there. It was more of a book site back then, though. I mean, it's just starting to get into like goods and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I mean, he could, like you said, Tanya, he could have bought it, Harbor Freight, anywhere like that,
But I mean,
Harbor Freight has them.
That seems like the go-to place now for all these fucking murder weapons. Like, gonna get it from Emmett. Why not? They'll just deliver right to my house, like.
Dude, I ordered something last Saturday, and I got it on Sunday.
I've ordered same day and gotten it same day.
Yeah,
here in
crazy.
Ohio.
We have a DC right here in Daytona. So I was like, on Sunday? Really? I wasn't expecting it until like Tuesday.
Anyway. I felt weird. Go ahead.
No, I'm just saying anyway.
Yeah, I felt weird when I actually ordered that K-bar knife. Like, I was like, fuck, man, it's kind of weird. And then, like, I got it. And then I just felt weird having it in my house. So I ultimately ended up just returning it because I wanted to use it for a demonstration purpose when I did the stream that time. And just to show everybody what one actually looks like if they hadn't seen one. But I felt weird. I started getting, like, weird nightmares and shit. I think just knowing that it was here. And I'm like, I get that thing out of the house. So I ended up just returning it. This is too weird.
Oh, you wanted to get out the hot list, man.
Yeah, right.
I returned it.
Yeah, I returned it. All right, let's play.
And attached to a sweater. When you can get your fingers on that one thread and you start pulling, it's what's attached to everything else that's going to make so much difference here. And if we think about the DNA that's there, that's extraordinarily important. Juries love that. And that's really important in terms of identification. Yes, but there's the new DNA. There is the cell phone records. There are the searches. There's the GPS aspect of where he is and where he's going. The idea of being able to take back and look at everything that they have now and sort of open it back up. You can track people in ways that we never used to be able to do that. And so as a result, what you can find is the forensics of these kinds of cases, especially with a cell phone, it changes so much in terms of identifying motivations, what you're looking for, what you're connected to, what may drive you to do something.
Man, I'm telling you, cell phones, like, that's going to be the new crime thing, is getting you located in those areas via the cast information, via the pings. That's going to be the thing now, is cell phones are going to tie a lot of people to crime.
So this is his house?
Yeah.
Yeah. Would have thought it'd be
in the future, and you think about that thread again, you start pulling on that. What does it do? How does it unravel the sweater? We have enormous amounts of evidence right now that the prosecutors, that the police are looking at. And when you start to be able to make connections to those, it can move beyond 1, 2, 3, and 4 victims. There could be that 11 that we're talking about. We don't even know at this point how much further they can go. I know that there's a belief that there may be multiple perpetrators in this case, and that's possible too. That's one of the other things that's coming, but they're going to see what they can do with this first one and then continue to pull on those threads to see what comes next.
They're saying multiple perpetrators? Really? They think there's more people involved?
I don't think there would be. I really don't.
Like a conspiracy thing to me.
Yeah. Because, no, he doesn't look like he would have anybody to be involved with.
He looks like a loner to me.
Yeah.
Like a lone wolf type of
Very
person.
much
he is the person that did this. So. All right, from Law and Crime Network, we had this video that was put out, I think, about a day ago. It says 9 shocking details revealed in the accused serial killer Rex Heuermann case. Let's play through a little bit of this.
Searching for answers. Long Island investigators announced bombshell news last week. A suspect in the Gilgo Beach murders case is now finally in custody.
Rex Heuermann is a demon that walks among us. A predator that ruined families.
Now, recently released court records reveal shocking details about the alleged Long Island serial killer, Rex Heuermann. Those include a disturbing online search history that showed the 59-year-old architect closely followed the Gilgo murders case from his home in Massapequa Park. Heuermann also stalked his victims and their families and sought out violent sex videos online.
Wow.
Documents detail his meticulous planning and timelines to commit the murders when his wife was out of town, and his strange need to maintain harassing contact with victims' families after he murdered their loved ones.
I'm standing here with my law enforcement partners in the Gilgo Task Force, to announce the indictment of defendant Rex Andrew Heuermann, 59 years of age.
Rex Heuermann. I'm an architect. I'm an architectural consultant. I'm a troubleshooter. Born and raised on Long Island.
Officials claim Heuermann is responsible for at least 3
I want to see that video.
Plagued the Long Island
I tried looking for it. I can't find it.
2010.
That
Since then,
interview.
11 sets of remains have been recovered.
I tried finding it, but they do have a clip of him talking about, like, I have a claw hammer and I can persuade a lot of people with it. I'm going to play the clip. It's crazy. It's fucking crazy.
In the secluded Gilgo Beach.
Speaking of that, yeah, hang on. I'll just play the clip real quick. It's like a 20-second clip. So the guy's like, how would you persuade people? I think in like sales or something like that. And he's like, I have a claw hammer. And he's like, that would persuade a lot of people or something to that effect. Here, I'll play it. This is crazy. Listen to this.
Oh yeah, I forgot about this.
So I have one tool that's pretty much used in almost every job. And it's actually a cabinet maker's hammer.
Okay, cabinet maker hammer. Okay.
It is persuasive enough when I need to persuade something.
Not someone.
Something. And
dude.
Excellent results.
What the? So these skulls may have holes in them,
bro.
Not from rounds, but from
bro.
Yeah.
But that particular.
He did like, well, how long was it? Like a 40-minute interview he did?
Yeah, I want to find that interview.
It's on YouTube.
I tried I couldn't find it.
You probably got to scroll just all the way down now.
Yeah.
I can't remember. The person's a small channel that did the interview, 4,000 subscribers or something. But if you just keep maybe going down, maybe I can find it.
Yeah, if you can find the link, Tanya, we'll pull some of it up.
Brian, pull up one of those hammers and put that picture up, because that's
what do you think? Cabinet maker hammer?
Yeah, that's if I'm right, I think that's a straight. It's one of those. It's not an art. It's not an art claw. It's a straight claw.
Straight. Let's see. Yeah.
It's kind of a perspective of what he's talking about. It's almost like a dagger.
Yep. Is exactly what it looks like. Here, let's pull this up. Yeah, it'd be something like this, like these hammers here, like this particular one, like that. That's crazy.
That's a skull crusher, right there.
That's a skull crusher. Yeah, it's nuts.
It's what did he say? A persuader.
It's a very persuasive item, and he said, and the YouTuber was making him laugh. He's like, not to persuade someone, but to persuade something, and he's like, ha ha ha! I started laughing.
I think that guy's German too. That one says made in Germany.
I'm gonna I'll pull the video back up. We'll play it again. What's that?
Okay, I just put the New York Post in the back chat. It's the one for the big doll. So whenever you want to,
you got it. Yeah, I'll pull it up.
Yeah,
I'll pull that up. Where the hell was that interview? It's like 32 seconds long. Shit, it's not my history now.
But I can look for the interview too.
Yeah, it was like the. Oh, I got it. I found it. Hang on. I want to play that again. This is nuts. Yeah. That's why we do these streams, folks. You know, we find things, we jump on it, and you know, we just want to discover and learn about these cases. You know, I love these like free forums because it can go in any direction. You know, that's what I really love about these shows. All right, let's play this really quick. Let's listen to Rex Heuermann again talk about the cabinet maker's hammer.
Same exact workshop. So I have one tool that's pretty much used in almost every job. And it's actually a cabinet maker's hammer.
Cabinet maker hammer. Okay.
It is persuasive enough when I need to persuade something.
You got to put that on the tag on the show. You gotta actually have that.
Excellent.
Jeez, man.
Somebody said, "Don't go buy one, Brian."
No, I know. I saw that. I pulled it up. She said, "Don't go buy one." No, I'm not gonna buy one. I promise. Shit, man.
No, yeah, he will.
He says it's persuasive enough. What?
That's a short throw hammer too, so you can whip it really fast. Doesn't have a long hammer.
They probably did it in the car or near the car. I mean, because that's where he had these girls.
Trauma.
Well, if you choke, alert. If you choke somebody out, though, often they can come back. So quick way to end them would be to do that. Incapacitate them.
Real quick, we're about halfway through the show. I just want to do this. Just make sure, please go down and smash that like button. If you just came in the room, if you're watching this back on a replay, comment down below with #replay. I love to see how many people caught this. And as you guys know, I download these episodes and re-upload them for the replays as well to push that out into the algorithm. Wow, let's see. This childlike doll removed from alleged Gilgo Beach killer's home as cops search for any trophies. Is it in the video? They got the video?
It's like if you go down, well, it might be in the video too, but I know if you go down, there's
Oh
right
my
there.
God, look at this fucking thing, dude.
It's got a house and everything.
Dude, that's creepy as hell.
It's like an Annabelle doll, like the Annabelle doll. It's like
I was going to say Annabelle.
dolls.
Exactly. That's what I was trying to think of the name of the movie.
My mom had porcelain dolls, and I was not cool with those. I accidentally broke one as a kid, and I thought my mom was gonna like die. Like literally, I thought she was gonna have like a panic attack over it. It was like her mother's, and they scared the crap out of me. And I was like, she like was trying to glue it back together. I'm like, no, just get rid of it.
That's some
get rid of the doll. I don't like them.
Richie says, "What a cool guy! I want to have a couple of beers with his nut I'm
still scrolling for the interview too.
I'm fucking kidding, man.
Guys, we're not disrespecting
No,
anybody.
absolutely not.
We're just making light of some of the stuff.
This is crazy.
Sometimes you have to, like.
This is nuts, though. And look at how like perfectly carved the cabinet is and everything. It's like,
yeah, he got her a nice one.
Jeez, man. Woo! I wonder if they have it. I wonder if there's video of them taking it out.
Now, to make a point, does that guy look like a serial killer?
Kind of.
Allegedly, yes. Yeah, I would say.
Now there he does, but in the interview, does he look like a serial killer?
That's the thing, man.
That guy looks like.
They all look like us.
Yeah.
I mean, Ted Bundy.
They blend in.
Colbert.
Dahmer.
BTK.
Yeah, BTK. He's a family guy.
Come on, man. Okay. So everybody's like, oh, serious. Everybody has this picture of a serial killer, but really, serial killers are very
walk among us.
They float around forever for a reason because they're like this guy.
Ed Gein.
Very unassuming.
Ed Gein. Yep.
Yeah.
Wisconsin. Well, listen, they took that story and took multiple characters to make the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, but Ed Gein was Wisconsin. I think it was Milwaukee, if I remember.
Now, Danny Rolling, who was the Gainesville slasher, he was, he was on the street. He did exactly pretty much what BK did, and he killed.
Allegedly.
Now they're saying up to 8, allegedly.
Yeah.
And he did it by himself. And he had those saying that there's no way BK could have done that by himself. Not to get on BK, but anyway.
Yeah. And this
guy could have done all these by himself easily.
This is where he said, and I have a cabinet hammer, and it's very persuasive. Fuck, man, it's crazy.
What is this interview, by the way? Did I miss that? What was this, like a job interview or something?
It was just talking about. I think it has something to do with the courses or classes that he teached in architecture, and this YouTuber came out to have
I'm on that YouTuber's page, and he might have removed that video.
I'm sure he did.
Because I don't see it on here, but I know the Hidden True Crime has it, and they're really awesome over there. They usually don't mind if people play, parts of their video. Probably the whole video, they wouldn't even care. It's her and her husband.
Yeah,
and they're usually really awesome about stuff like that.
Yeah. That's why I like Peter Tragos is cool about that shit.
Yeah.
Emily D. Baker doesn't care.
No.
If anything, it's gonna get them more rub if people haven't seen them and get them over there. So
hey, let's get something out there real quick.
Yeah.
New York is not a DP state, correct? They're not a death penalty state.
No.
I don't think so. No.
Yeah.
Liberal state.
Yep.
But hold on. Wait, did all the crimes happen in New York? Yeah, I think they did.
Well, they have a whole
they have
roadway
3.
where a bunch of bodies were found.
Yeah.
So that's where in New York, weren't they?
They have 3 right now in New York, but they're investigating other cases. So
now South Carolina probably is a DP state.
Yeah, I would think Las Vegas.
I would think
Vegas definitely is. Yeah.
Is Vegas a DP state?
I believe so. Yes.
Oh wow.
See.
They seem pretty laid back over in Nevada, I would think.
Well, it's a red state, isn't it?
Ohio, we are a DP state.
Barely.
But yeah.
Yeah, Nevada's a DP state. Oh, wait, hang on. Nevada was first state in the United States to use the gas chamber, execute 32 men, method of 1924 to 1979. Might be, oh, wait, hang on. All executions in Nevada since 1979 have been carried up. I think it's not anymore.
It's abolished, right?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Just
all right.
Food for thought.
Yeah. South Carolina. Vegas is. Nina says Vegas is. Can you find that 100%, Nina? If you can do that for us. All right, let's play through this.
Area of Suffolk County, New York.
These young women went missing between July of 2007 and September of 2010. They were
Summer
found
says we are.
December of 2010 by the Suffolk County Police Department, and then there was nothing, absolutely nothing. For the next 13 years, their cases went unsolved until today.
In early 2022, officials say a new Gilgo Beach task force comprised of Suffolk County Police Department, the Suffolk County Sheriff's Office, New York State Police, and the FBI was established. Just weeks later, investigators narrowed in on Heuermann as the prime suspect.
We took analysts, we took detective investigators, and they worked on a daily basis with other talented investigators from all of the agencies here. We started that in February 1st, 2022. 6 weeks later, on March 14th, 2022, the name Rex Heuermann was first mentioned as a suspect.
I'm doing more streams on this. This is so fascinating. And there's going to be more stuff that just keeps coming out and out over the next couple of weeks. This is a fascinating case.
Hallelujah.
For more than
What's that?
Hallelujah.
I know that.
Yeah, we have something else to talk about other than BK.
I know.
And this could be more interesting than that.
Oh,
case.
it's gonna be. I think it's gonna get. I think it's gonna get huge when people start catching on to this.
Well, the body count's gonna go up. I guarantee you.
This is crazy. Oh, here's that interview. Let's see.
This guy actually looks.
Kept watch on Heuermann.
He kind of like when he was looking down on it. He looked like kind of like he didn't even want to be around the guy. I'm gonna have to look at that guy's body language a little while we watch
Let's go back a little bit and see that. Yeah,
he was kind of like looking down.
For more than a year, investigators kept watch on Heuermann, during which time they used more than 300 subpoenas, search warrants, and other legal processes to collect evidence in the case. Throughout it all, officials believe Heuermann was closely monitoring the Gilgo Beach investigation.
Yeah,
Between
Las
March
Vegas is a death penalty
2022 and
state.
just last month, Heuermann made more than 200 internet searches related to the Gilgo Beach investigation, looking up, quote, why could law enforcement not trace the
that's what I was saying earlier. Look at that.
Killer? And why hasn't the
What's that, John?
That's what I was
what
saying
he was looking
earlier.
up?
Look, it's in the PCA.
That's what he was
things
looking
that
up.
he was looking up.
Fuck.
No way. That's awesome. That's
crazy.
Awesome. Here, let's read over those, Brian. That's
That's stuff that you could read over. Yeah, the stuff that I had was like,
why could
you can't read it out really. You get probably.
Why have the PCA not trace calls made by Long Island serial killer? Why hasn't the Long Island serial killer been caught? Long Island serial killer phone call.
If you get down there, look at the victims' names.
Yeah. Oh my God, he was Googling their names.
Yeah, and Maureen is the fourth victim, and I'm gonna say that he killed her. I know that allegedly he's the prime suspect, but let's put him in there with the three. This is four. I mean, I don't know. I know that they're saying Gilgo 3, but they have
four.
The same DNA.
They said Gilgo
Did they?
4.
Okay, good, because I've been hearing 3 a lot, and I'm like, no, it's 4. Maureen has the same DNA as these other women have. I don't know why they haven't charged him with it yet, but they're like, he's the prime suspect in that case as well. But
this guy's been
and
under
I think
surveillance for a long time.
I think it was Melissa's is the person's phone he was calling, Melissa Barthamy. I think that's how you say her last name. I'm not sure, but that's the one phone that he was using and calling her family.
Jeez, man.
I think it was
Who's
her
John
sister or
Bitroff?
something.
Who's John Bitroff? Is that a victim?
Oh, that's not.
Number 14.
But that's a good. I don't know. Well, remember there was one Asian male found over there with the bodies.
Sound like an Asian name.
That doesn't to me. But
Google John Bittroff somebody and see what that comes
Tell me how to spell the last name.
BIT.
It's number 14 right there.
Yeah, I
He can't see. BITROFF. I gotcha. And then John JOHN. BITROFF. Bitroff.
Who is John Bittroff? There's
it's got to be significant or it wouldn't be in here.
From Miu.
Is he an attorney?
No, it's another. Hang on here. We got something. What is this? Who is John Bittroff? Rex Heuermann's chilling search history raises questions about another Gilgo Beach killer. What?
Oh, is he the one that ended up being charged for the other?
What the fuck, man? What?
I love this shit. This is great.
Is crazy, bro. The Gilgo Beach murders are unsolved homicides mystery. The captivated the world for decades. I want to read about when he's Googling this shit here. Puzzled Beach, puzzled people. Who's John
Here we go.
Bittroff? An arrest of Heuermann has also drawn attention to Bittroff, a carpenter from Manorville, Long Island. In 2014, Bittroff, a married father, resided in Manorville, Suffolk County, was also taken in custody for homicides of sex worker Rita, is it Tangredi and Colleen McAnamy. Excuse me. The connection of these murders are established through a DNA sample obtained from his brother, Timothy, who had been arrested and convicted on the contempt of court charge in 2013, resulting in his inclusion in a criminal database. Tangredi, I think I'm saying that right, and I apologize if I'm not, age 31, was discovered beaten and strangled to death in 1993, while McAnamy, age 20, met a similar fate the following year as per oxygen crime. The bodies of the both women were discovered in a wooded area within close proximity to the Long Island shore, where Tangredi found a East Pathcog, and McAnamy was near North Shirley. These similarities between these murders at Gilgo Beach killings have sparked speculation regarding Bittroff's potential involvement in a larger series of crimes, hitting at a possible connection. What?
Well, do you think that maybe he could be? Do you think that maybe if there was a connection, John could be the guy that sets up the girls? Like he goes out and finds the girls for Rex, because Rex is married. He's got kids. You know what I mean? How's he finding the girls and then calling them and then setting all that up without the wife knowing about a burner phone? Because if Vincent had another phone, I would know. I would know right now, and he's in the other room. I'd be like, I can hear it. I can smell it.
These victims from Bittroff,
mm-hmm.
Were they in burlap bags? Does it say anything about that?
No, it doesn't say. I'm trying to remember if his name was brought up, but this case it's been a while.
I just saw it on the PCF. Why is there a dude's name on here? I mean, it's got to be significant, or it wouldn't be there.
So maybe he was Googling that guy to see if more charges had come up on that guy.
Him, right, and maybe to shake him off the trail, and they were narrowing in on Bittroff, saying, "Oh, he was the one that did all this."
Yeah,
that's true too. Yeah, that's a good observation.
Well, yeah, I mean, if I'm him, I'm wondering whether they're pinning all those crimes on this one guy, and like you said, Brian, the heat's off of me if I did it,
right?
You know, and they've got this other serial killer out there, so
yeah.
Oh, it does say right there, number 18, redacted name of relative of Melissa Barthamy. So
crazy.
That was the one. Yeah, I thought that was. Oh man.
Yeah, this is nuts. All right, let's
does it say what he said to the family member?
They may talk about
it, but they might talk about it on here. Yeah, I can't remember for sure.
Yeah, let's play this.
Long Island serial killer. Wow. On top of that, court documents show Heuermann's home IP address followed the Suffolk County Police Department's Gilgo News website for updates on the investigation. That's why officials opted for grand jury proceedings in his case.
The grand jury has two things. It has power, it has reach. You can obtain documents, you can interview witnesses. But the other thing that the grand jury has secrecy. No one knows what you do when you operate a grand jury proceeding. And we knew that when we were investigating this case and when we dealt with the media or whatever it was we were doing, we were playing before a party of one. Because we knew.
Hey, Brian, can you stop that for a second?
Responsible for these murders would be looking at us. So we were very careful how we handled the investigation. We maintained the integrity of the investigation. Most importantly of all, we maintained the secrecy of that investigation, and I think that's paid dividends as we've seen today.
Investigators primarily pointed to Heuermann's alleged use of burner phones.
One thing that became immediately apparent was at the time of each of the murders, the murderer, the defendant Heuermann, he got a cell phone and a burner phone, which is prepaid and anonymous. And for each of the murders, he got an individual burner phone, and he used that to communicate with the victims. Then shortly after the death of the victims, he then would get rid of the burner phone. And right away in December of 2012, FBI CAST analysts, special agents with the CAST unit of the FBI, they immediately began looking at that cell site data. They compared the victims' phones with the burner phones, and they immediately honed in on some similarities, specifically in the Massapequa Park area. And they looked at an area of a confluence of 4 cell towers, and they realized that this had significance because the perpetrator of these crimes was probably located within this area at or around the times of the murder. And that was mapped out. That was called the box, and it was an area in Massapequa Park.
Officials say Heuermann used fictitious names, email accounts, and burner phones to contact victims in the case. Investigators used Heuermann's American Express records to show he was in the same location as multiple of the burner phones when they were used to contact victims.
Wow.
Court documents read in part, quote, "Significantly, investigators could find no instance where Heuermann was in a separate location from those other cell phones when such a communication event occurred."
We also went back and looked at his cell site records, and we compared his personal cell site records with that of the 4 target phones, and we saw that there was areas of commonality. In other words, that whenever the target phones would bounce off a cell tower, if the Heuermann personal phone bounced off a tower, it was always consistent and in close proximity.
Wow.
With the target phones.
You know, I just want to pause this for a second and kind of jump in and just maybe jump to Idaho in this for a second. You know, everybody says that, you know, I hear a lot of the people talking out there as far as all of the cell phone information in the Idaho case, how they're like, oh, it's a non-factor, it's not going to be relevant. I think it's going to be a huge factor in the case.
They got him down to like a couple feet of the phones. Like in the PCA, it's like within...
In this PCA.
Yeah, in this PCA. It's within like feet. I don't even remember exactly how long, but I mean, it's like his office is here and his phone's here. And the victim's phone's here. Like,
if people don't understand what that is, it's basically you have find your iPhone. That's it, because it will put you find your iPhone. But on this right here, I want to make a comment on what he's saying. Remember what he just said? The grand jury testimony is sealed and secretive.
Right.
Well, guess what? Guess what Judge did?
They let Brian have it. It's sealed for everybody but Brian.
This is what's scary, because he's setting a precedence by doing this, because it's such a high-profile case. He's given the defense what they want. He's a constitutionalist, which isn't a bad thing. I don't want people to think that's a bad thing. But by opening the door and allowing them to pursue that, he's opening Pandora's box in the legal and the legal aspect of cases, because I think it was crazy for him to allow that to happen. The grand jury is the grand jury. All the grand jury is just a PC procedure. You're just putting together the PC. Okay, hey, do we indict this guy or not? Do we extradite him or not? You know, and that's what this is. And another thing too, real quick point, is, you know, we're putting all this emphasis on the cell data, and guess what that's telling future criminals? Don't take your cell phone.
Yep.
Get a burner phone. Because and here we are in today's day and age, people are expecting DNA in every crime. And there's often crimes that DNA is not present.
Right.
So if it's kind of like the glove scenario, that the glove doesn't fit, you must quit. So now what are we going to have? Are we going to have, okay, well, we got a good idea that this guy did it, but there's no DNA, so he's going to get acquitted. Now, okay, well, there's no digital footprint because he left his phone at home, so he's going to get acquitted. You know, it's just it's a slippery slope, everyone. We need to all think about that for a minute. You know, all this technology stuff is going to, and DNA is going to come back and bite us in the ass one day when it comes to prosecuting people. Just my opinion.
Yeah, I think and that's the thing though too, John, is like we always say that criminals are going to get smarter, and they never really do. They still fuck up and leave something behind. You know what I mean? Like, as much, I agree. I totally agree with your saying. I think, that it is, we're putting things out there to not, don't, if you're going to be a criminal, don't bring your phone, don't be here, don't be in this direction, don't drive in this particular car because it has a thing that can record your drive or whatever. But it's like, I think we say all those things, but that's I think the very fascinating thing about criminal investigation is that once we find that one thing, and it starts building those branches on the tree, and it branches out, and you start figuring out all these other things that come in. Like, the article that I first brought up in the beginning of the show, they said, oh, the police, it could have a lead that they had that they didn't act on. But again, we don't know. And listen, and newspapers write articles to sell newspapers and have you look at their website and get clicks. We don't know if they had enough information 13 years ago to steer them in this right direction. That's why they had that first paragraph. It was like, oh, they missed the tip. But if you read on, it said, when the new guy came in, they reopened the case file because there was new leads that were coming in, and they looked at all the old tips and they said, you know what? Maybe it is this guy, Yeah.
Well, also, we got to keep in mind too, that on a spontaneous act or an impulsive act, yes, that's going to happen. But when you have somebody that's got a mind and is premeditating something, and they're going to kill their wife or their husband or what have you, and they're planning this years in advance, and they're just waiting on the opportunity. If they do it right, I mean, they could certainly say, hey, I wasn't there, my cell phone didn't ping there, my DNA is not there,
right?
And these are all compelling things when it comes to jurors today. They want to see that evidence.
Yeah.
And it's going to be very hard to prosecute people moving forward if you have somebody that's smart enough to think about these things.
Yeah,
just putting it out there.
Yeah, absolutely. Richie, welcome to the memberships. I appreciate you joining up and becoming a monthly supporter. Thank you.
Like the picture.
That's pretty cool.
Did you put mascara on
that? And let's see, I just
saw bushy eyebrows.
Yeah, he did have bushy eyebrows.
Pull that back up. He had bushy eyebrows. I wonder if that guy's being a smart ass.
Don't you judge Rich and what he does with his cat.
That is a great cat. Kelly P's asking, but can absence of photo data also be evidence? Can absence of phone data also be evidence? Can absence of phone data also be evidence?
I'm not following you. What do you mean? There's no data.
It means like if they're like okay, so since Brian Kohlberger didn't take his phone with him, the absence of the phone data, will that show like in favor, I think is what she means. I kind of know what you mean. So no, that can actually help with the prosecution, because if you show normally that you have a routine, even if you don't know it, you have a routine with your phone. So if you don't go, turning your phone off every night at 2:42 a.m. and then turning it back on,
she's
a little bit later.
Off. Yep.
Yeah.
She's on the same
like
path.
that.
Yep.
Yeah. It could definitely, if he has it turned off and he's used to not having his phone off at that time, they're gonna show that. That's gonna be like, okay, that's way out of left field. Just like when people let their phone die, people have been caught on murder charges for that shit. Like, they're like, this dude has never let his phone die in 15 years, but he let his phone die 4 times this night, and I've seen it like on those like ID channel shows. So I think that it could hurt him.
It's circumstantial, but it can certainly be used if that's answering a question. Yes.
Yeah. I would have just left it on at home.
When you're laying the foundation as a prosecuting attorney and the team, you're laying that foundation. Okay, here's what didn't happen. That's kind of unusual. And it's all preponderance of the evidence, and circumstantial evidence can be used.
Do you think he took his cell phone with him that night because he was afraid, because he was new to that area, and he only went there 12 times, let's just say, and he went that weird route that he wouldn't be able to get his way home? So he wanted that GPS on his phone?
Yeah, I believe that's why
I just thought of that. Because
that's why he turned it back on.
Yeah, because he doesn't have a GPS in his car. He doesn't have one.
That dark road that Nancy Grace went on. That's
I
eerie.
bet you that's why he took his phone.
Yeah,
I don't know why. I feel like I had an epitome moment, but I just realized that because I was like, a lot of people take their phone out of just like habit, but I think he probably took it because he was scared he wouldn't be able to get back home.
Right. He was lost, and he wanted to find the quickest way out of there.
Yep.
All right.
Didn't really care about the way there, to there, but
Let's do about another 7 minutes. I do want to keep the stream under an hour and a half because I've been doing like 2.5 hour bangers.
You have.
And we need to cut these down to about an hour and a half. So we'll get through the rest of the 7 minutes, and then we'll do a 4 or 5 minute wrap up at the end of the show. We'll get out of here. But I am coming back this week and doing more of this. It's just insane what I'm finding out.
And at no time was there ever an instant where those target phones were, for instance, in New Jersey, while the defendant was on Long Island. So that was completely consistent.
Investigators say Heuermann was also consistent when selecting victims and disposing of their bodies.
They were buried in a similar fashion, in a similar location, in a similar way. All the women were petite. They were. They all did the same thing for a living. They all advertised the same way, and there were similarities with regard to the crime scenes. All the women were bound at the head, at the midsection, or at the chest, and later at the legs.
4 primary victims identified in this case: Maureen Brainerd Barnes, Melissa Bartholomew, Megan Waterman, and Amber Costello were working as escorts at the time of the murder.
Yeah, those are escorts.
Investigators note Heuermann's internet search history included specific searches for sex workers and torture-related porn, including, quote, Mistress Long Island, Mature Escorts Manhattan, and girl begging for rape porn. But officials allege Heuermann got more specific with his research too.
Oh gosh, I don't want to read some of that.
That's the one. That's the one I was telling you about.
Yeah, I don't want to read.
You can't read it.
That's nasty.
What you would consider.
I mean, we can read it, but I'm not saying that. That's nasty.
Well, no, I literally just put it on the screen and was like, if anyone wants to read, because even when I went through them, I could only go through like 5 of them because I was like essay, this word, and that, trying to.
What a sick person.
Yes, very.
Depictions of women being abused.
You can't treat that. I don't care what anybody says.
Officials allege Heuermann had a disturbing fascination with victims' family members, staying in contact with them and making
haunting calls. Oh my God.
Calls. Court documents show how he used the victims' personal phones to contact their families after their murders. Maps show
that's all in the
Heuermann's
PCA there,
the same location as the victims' phones during.
John, we gotta do a stream this week and go through that PCA. This is crazy.
Yeah, absolutely.
Time frame when their families received calls.
He was compulsively searching pictures of the victims, but not only pictures of the victims, pictures of their relatives, their sisters.
So he was stalking
children,
them.
And he was trying to locate those individuals.
What's more,
he was trying to locate them.
Point out Heuermann's wife was out of town when multiple victims were killed.
We looked at the Heuermann family travel records, and we learned that during the murders of the last 3 women, Bartholomew, Waterman, and Costello, that during the commission of those murders, the defendant's wife and children were out of New York State, and he was alone in the tri-state area.
Though his wife may have been out of the area for multiple of the murders, investigators say what is believed to be her hair was recovered on multiple victims' bodies.
Wow.
One of the things that we did is we followed him because we wanted to get an abandonment sample.
So I wonder what the burlap bags were being
which
used
we were able
for.
to do.
They were being used to so you couldn't see the bodies because it was like a marshy. There's like, okay, so it's like marsh area.
That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying what they were at the house for. If his wife's hair is on the burlap bags, then they were in the house. Like,
yeah, they could have been in the garage or whatever. Yeah, she could have used them for planting pots, like, or trees.
Yeah, I'm just saying, what did she had contact with them? So
Yeah.
It's kind of like if you had the burlap sacks and say you have a dog like in your car and had dog hair in there and you threw the sacks on there, it would pick up that dog hair.
That's what I think it was.
Maybe it was her hair shedding in the car
because she was out of town.
He threw on the floor and picked up her hair.
Mm-hmm.
Could be.
Yeah, like she didn't have any connection to the victims.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but it could have been something that she actually
was using. Right.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Fuck, this is so weird, man.
This is
We
good
also
stuff.
got DNA samples, abandonment samples from his family. And then we went back and we got mitochondrial DNA testing.
But investigators also matched Heuermann's DNA to hair recovered at the crime scenes. According to court documents, investigators recovered a pizza box Heuermann threw away in January 2023. The Suffolk County Crime Lab analyzed a piece of leftover crust connecting it to Heuermann.
Rex Heuermann is a demon that walks among us. A predator that ruined families.
Yep.
If not for the members of this task force,
I don't shed any hair. I'm
you would
bald.
still be on the streets today.
I have no hair.
However, even with this arrest, we're not done. There's more work to do in this investigation regarding the other victims of the Gilgo Beach bodies that were discovered.
Right now, officials say the investigation is still underway and new evidence could soon be collected. Heuermann is being held without bail on charges of first and second degree murder in the deaths of Bartholomew, Costello, and Waterman. He's pleaded not guilty to all charges and is due back in court on August 1st.
Wow.
You know what's funny is if you look at you're talking about hair, if you look at BK and look at some of the video surveillance or the video body cam footage, you look at his arms, looks like he shaved his arms. If you look at his dad's arms, he's very hairy, and I guarantee you BK is very hairy as well. But if you look at his arms on those traffic stops, he shaved his arms, and the reason why he would do that is because he wouldn't want to leave DNA.
Interesting.
Well,
and just one more thing.
I don't know about that. Vincent's got the bushiest eyebrows I've ever seen. Like BK, but times like 4, but he has no hair on his arms or like his underarms. Maybe that's his genes, but like he has a little bit of hairy legs, but his hair on his eyebrows, I'm gonna have to show a picture sometime.
His dad's very hairy, and he looks like he's pretty hairy too. But
no, he does look like he is.
And one more thing, just so we don't bust Idaho's chops too much, I want you to think about, in that investigation, think about all the time that's gone into this case. These guys are prepared for this press conference. I'm sure people are going to go, oh, look at all the info we're getting from this. Idaho, we didn't get any. We're still
13 years of investigation.
Yeah, you're talking about a huge investigation. I guarantee you this guy's probably been under surveillance for 6 months to a year. And, the Idaho case was a spontaneous event. They had, bam, it hit them in the face. So they weren't prepared for that. These guys are prepared. So, yeah, they look pretty sharp, but, they've known this day was coming. Right. I just wanted to point that out.
No, yeah, absolutely.
Who bashed the Idaho investigation.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, definitely this is something that I want to keep following up on. This the stream was amazing. And I always say, like, our smaller streams end up becoming some of our best. What were you going to say, Tanya?
Oh, no, I was going to say, I think I covered 2, I think I did 2 lives on this. It's very interesting. It's very interesting.
Yeah, I'll be sure to be back this week and do some more of this. I want to just recognize Summer gifted out another membership. Thank you so much, Summer. And Kelly P is now in the membership group. All right. Well, there we go. That is going to be the end of the show, I wanted to get this down under an hour and a half tonight. We've been doing rock star shows over here. I've been streaming, I think, almost over a week straight. I took Sunday night off. So I have tomorrow night. Maybe I'll come back and plan and do some of this tomorrow night at 9 p.m. But I'll definitely be back on Thursday and Friday doing a whole hell of a lot of streams. And maybe if Tanya wants me over on her show, I'll jump over and support her.
Yeah,
if
for
she has anything
sure.
going on. Her and I will stay in contact. I'll come over and join her, and we'll get Detective John back and maybe some of my mods here on the panel this upcoming week. So everybody,
I'd be more than happy to come over too if you.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah,
absolutely.
for sure.
So everybody be safe. Thanks for popping in on this episode 32. I want to thank my panel of guests when they jump on. Such a fun time to have them here. Tanya from the Titanium Built channel. If you haven't gone over, go over and subscribe to her. We need to get her to 10,000 subscribers. And then we need to get this channel to 10,000 subscribers. I also want to thank Detective John as well for jumping on, and he will be actually getting his channel up going soon within the next month, hopefully. And it's I'm sorry, John, what's the name? Is Crime Analysis
101 by Detective John. And I've got almost 200, dude.
There you go. 200 subscribers. Hey,
you only need 500.
300 more.
Or 300. Yeah.
Because you're at 200, 300 more subscribers to get 500. And then you just get to put your butt in the seat, get to 3,000 watch hours, and you're going to be monetized, brother. And we'll help you get there.
All right. Plug me. Crime Analysis 101 by Detective John.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Help you get there. We'll help you get there. All right, guys. I want to thank again everybody on the panel, everybody in the chat. Thank you, everybody this evening that gave away Summer. Thank you so much for giving away some memberships this evening. I really appreciate it. And that's it. We'll be back soon. I'll be back probably tomorrow night, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I think I'm going to do more of this case. We'll do some more follow-up on it. I'll catch you guys all then. Everybody safe, sound, and look out for each other. See you soon.
Hey, glad you got to see me.